Priya Huskins is a senior vice president at Woodruff Sawyer and was inside for today's hearing. Priya, great to see you. Why does this matter not only to Blue Apron and Stitch Fix and Roku, but to companies nationwide?
Contessa, on its face, this seems like an obscure little case that's about whether IPO companies will be sued in just federal court or in a lot of state courts at the same time. What's actually at stake is access to the kind of growth capital that allows companies to do things like create great jobs and shareholder value. And that's because if this litigation persists, the cost of the litigation is so high that the insurance becomes completely unaffordable, and that will end up choking the IPO pipeline.
And so basically these companies are arguing that they should be allowed to write into their bylaws or into their charter documents a mandate that shareholders have to file in federal court as opposed to in state court where juries might work in their favor. How does this affect insurance prices?
That's exactly right. It's not new that IPO companies will be sued, but because a federal Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court case in 2018 changed the landscape, those companies are being sued repetitively and duplicatively. So it's the same company, the same set of facts, being sued now in multiple state courts and federal court. That's what has caused the price of this insurance to escalate so dramatically. If we win this case in the Delaware Supreme Court, we should expect companies to immediately start putting in these provisions, federal forum provisions, into their bylaws, and that will mean it'll go back to what we're used to. Of course, if shareholders need to sue, they can do that, but they should just do that in federal court.
What impact does the skyrocketing number of cases, the size of the settlements, do to the IPO market in general?
So I've been talking to a number of clients, and what they say is, does it even make sense to go public? And that's obviously bad for corporate America. A quick example, Contessa, if you are a small mid-market life science company, you're planning to raise $100 million in an IPO so that you can fund research. Now suddenly you're being told that, well, that's great, but you're going to have to put aside, let's call it $10 million for your deductible, maybe another $5 million just in insurance premiums, so that you can have insurance for your directors and officers when you go public. Now, the price is because there's so much expensive litigation, but you can see in my example why executives are saying, hang on, does it even make sense to go public?
Aon told me that
it's a little bit crazy that insurance would be the reason you wouldn't go public.
Well, Aon says that the sectors that are most likely to be sued then as IPOs are biotech, new technology, some retail, some healthcare. Would these companies all be able to get this kind of insurance?
So to date, we have seen insurance markets continue to provide insurance, but what you're alluding to is absolutely right. Capital is leaving insurance. Insurance carriers do not want to put up insurance for these kinds of risks, and it's because it's a loss leader for them.